again and welcome. As the title of the video suggests, I have a dilemma with this piece of oak burr, which initially measured 18 inches by 5.5 inches, and this is how it looked originally when I put it on the lathe for the first time. I hadn't intended to actually do a video. However, I took some footage to get it to this stage, and I thought it might be of interest to some of you. I've had it in different orientations. I've had this as it is now, going to be the outside of the bowl, and the flat face the inside. I did have it the other way round. I've done some cuts to get it to here. I've taken some bark off, etc. And I now have got to take it down quite a bit to get about an 80 to 85% holding part for the chuck. I honestly and truly don't know what it's going to end up as. It might end up as an egg cup, I just don't know. But I thought it might be of interest to you to see how I'm going to tackle it, because I don't know at this stage. There's a flat face here, which is obviously going to pose an aesthetic problem. Again, I'm not sure how I'm going to tackle that. Anyhow, let's get watching to this stage, and then we'll carry on from here and see what transpires. So I think that's all I can do on the shaping now. We've got a nice curve here. The tenon, I'm quite pleased with the fact I've got about 80% of the tenon. For a good secure hold, I'll be using the large gripper jaws from Axminster. I'll be getting rid of that little nub there and put it in the jaws. Before I do that, I'm going to sand up, and then I won't put a finish on now because I'm going to be doing an oil finish anyway, but I'll sand everything up on this side, then we'll spin them around and see what happens with the inside, and we'll take it from there. Now we've got a small catch there, and it took a chunk off here, and this is a very good example of why you should always stay out of the line of fire where possible. This came off. I can't find the piece actually. Maybe I'll find it by the end of the video. But it's a shame, but it's not going to make a lot of difference because there's going to be a lot of voids anyway, and this is going to be coming down to here. So this will form part of the rim. Okay, we'll carry on and see how we go. So that's the turning finish now on the inside. I found the piece that flew off, and that was there. Obviously it won't fit now because it's come down a little bit on the inside. But again, just a warning, always wear your face mask and always make sure that you're out of the way of the line of fire, especially with pieces like this, which are very unpredictable. But it's got some nice figure. What I intend to do now is to sand it all down and soften the edges here, and then apply one coat of oil, and we'll just see how it looks, and then I'll take the tenon off and we'll be done. Okay, I'm at the stage now where I've sanded to 240, all hand sanding. Lathe was stationary through all the sanding procedure, softened all the edges, and now I'm about to apply some Hampshire Sheen citrus burnishing oil. This will be the first coat, and going to let it soak in, but it should pop nicely. Now this particular project might not be to everybody's taste, but I'm one of these people that see a bit of wood, like the figure in it, and think, yeah, it's awkward, but I'm going to have a go. You've got two chances, as my wife always says. You'll either succeed or you'll fail. Now, the shape is not going to win any awards, but then that's due to the awkward nature of the piece of wood to start with. But I think you'll agree, it's got some gorgeous figure. It's got to be sort of like a shallow platter, really. You can put some fruit in there, whatever. So it will be used, and again, my wife doesn't know at the moment, but it will be used. If not in our house, in somebody else's. But it's a lovely bit of wood. It was just a very awkward shape. And that's that bit done. We'll just change the camera for the back so you can see the back going on as well. I'm very pleased it stayed together, to be honest with you. Anyway. What I will do when I've given this a couple of minutes to the initial soak in, it is a burr and there are some very soft parts, but the majority of it is hard with the grain going out, obviously with the burr everywhere, every which way, but I think it was worth the save. And as I repeat myself yet again, not everybody would think it would be worth the time and the trouble. Each to his own, as they say. And again, I will say the design ended up with what the wood allowed, really. But yeah, it's not too bad. What I'll do now is let that go off a little bit, wipe off the excess, spin them around, take off the tenon, and I'll come to you when that's finished. Well, that's the piece finally finished, and it ended up at 13 inches by 7 by 3 deep. Not to everybody's taste, I appreciate, but having said that, it was a bit of a challenge because that piece of wood was awkward, and rather than throw it onto the fire pile, I decided to have a go of it and hope you enjoyed it as well. It's always a good session of practice, if you like, of different situations, especially when you're cutting a lot of air. One coat up to now of Hampshire Sheen citrus burnishing oil. I'll put several more coats on, and when that's done I'll finally put a maker's mark on the bottom. Well, okay, well, thank you very much indeed for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll put some pictures up at the end, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers now.